Understood. Let's go through your lineup up front anyways. I think at this point, Todd's initial plan is probably to keep Patrick Maroon with Connor and to give Strome a run on right wing with that group. What do you envision for that group?
Well, certainly there was some good performance between Connor and Pat. We brought in Ryan, and we want him to succeed. He's a very heady player. He's got a very good wrist shot, good release, and you have to be a very heady player, and you have to trade pucks well if you're going to play with Connor and trade him quickly. So you got some good stick skill there, and Pat's got some good stick skill. So I mean, I've looked at a number of lineups, and my guess is probably what you're saying, that they'll probably come in with that, start with that lineup, at least in exhibition. You've got a good complement. You've got Pat, who can grind and can trade pucks. You've got Ryan, who can shoot, and then you've got Connor, who can do what he does. They all think the game very well, which is important.
What can you say about Connor that hasn't already been said? I mean, is he the best player in the game?
He's in that conversation, and I see a number of players, but I see Sid, who's won those cups, and I see a passionate player whose game gets better in the playoffs, and I see a competitive, heavy, heady superstar, which is a combination that's very rare if you look back in history. But Connor's done it for a year, and I'm paying him like the best player in the league, so he's in the conversation.
Absolutely. Is Maroon's 27 goals repeatable or reasonable to assume that it?
I would think so, and he's in terrific shape. I saw him the other day, which is what he's done the last 2 years. He's come to camp in really good shape, and I think that's why he's had the success. Again, thinks the game well and good hands. So with his size, he's able to exchange the puck well with Connor, which is important, right? Because Connor's going so fast. You gotta think fast, and you gotta move the puck fast. So I would think in and around there would be a reasonable number for Pat.
Again, lines are always subject to change in a moment's notice, but it could be Lucic, Leon, and maybe Kajula to start training camp, especially with Slepishev's injury on the right side. And again, your right side looks like it's a lot more fluid than most of them. Do you prefer having Connor and Leon as your 1-2 punch at center long term, or is it just a case of trying to find the right time to mix and match when Leon goes to the right side?
That's a Todd question, I think. For as a manager, I can tell you this: I like Leon in the middle because he's strong and he's heavy and he's good on faceoffs. He's more than that, but that's why I like him in the middle. So that doesn't mean Connor and Leon won't play together, because you saw them playing together last year, and Leon will take some draws and Connor will be on the wing, and they trade coverage down low sometimes. But as a manager, I think you're winning a cup with those two guys. At the end of the day, on the average of games, you're going to win a cup with those guys in the middle, both in the middle.
How would you grade Milan Lucic's game last year?
Out of 10, I'd give him a strong 6. I think any time you get a player that comes to a new environment, I think there's an adjustment period. And we saw that the year before with Sekera, and I thought Sekera's year was terrific last year. I think, and I had a lot of discussions with Milan, and we trade our notes about our Boston time, and we talk about how this is different. So I think he felt his way through it a little bit, because he was such a strong piece of the Boston group that he was an outsider coming in. But I loved his game, and I know there's talk about his his even strength play and all that, but he did everything we asked him to do, and he'll do better, and he's in good shape. And
yeah, anecdotally, I just saw a picture of him wearing his New England Patriot jersey on Twitter or whatever the other night. I don't know. Is he leaner? He looks a lot leaner.
His weight's the same, but he's leaner, so that's less body fat, right? So he's always been great on the body fat. So I was very happy with Luch, and he'd be the first to say he might. I don't know if he'd agree with my grade, but I know he can contribute more, but I was happy with his play.
Given all the financial pressures that you will feel as time marches on, do you ever worry that the diminishing return on Milan's deal is going to, be a constrictive thing for you at some point?
Well, I know that's a narrative that I've seen,
right,
and for a heavy type of player that is entering that age group, that's something that comes up. Like you think about it, and I think about it when we're signing those types of players. He's always, so what I've seen of him in my time in Boston is that he's always been in very good shape. He's always been conscientious about that, and he's a student of the game, and he knows where he has to tweak his game to survive in that sense. But I don't see any issues with that in the near time, in the short run, medium term. But just pure physics will probably do something longer. But Milan's such a student of the game. He's got a good set of hands that I know he'll be a very effective player at that time.